Monday Night Raw. We'll get it one of these days. We'll get it. Monday Night Raw started out. This was a pre-tape from the week before, as some people have noted on the internet. I really saved myself from a lot of spoilers, so I went into this Raw, as it were, like I always do. It started out with Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez coming out to the ring, and I got to know your thoughts on this, because I have a lot of thoughts on this, and since you have the world's longest wet throbbing for Liv Morgan, I need to really know what you thought of this whole segment.
It has nothing to do with anything about that. I just respect her wrestling abilities and think she's a great wrestler and great on the mic, you know?
Who are you trying to fool right now? I mean, the audience?
I do want to say, I think it was last week, shout out, she had some attire on or something, and it was the same attire that was like a Burberry scarf design. Another
really?
shout back to MJF.
Okay.
Now, you know, I draw the comparisons all the time. Yeah, you know, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us, and I only count 1, 2, 3, 4 of you. I'm smarter than all of you.
The whole way this got built up, because Liv and Raquel were out in the ring, Nia and Tiffany and Candice LeRae, who's with them now.
Yeah.
T's and P's to Indy Hartwell. That was heartbreaking to see her released. I think that she is phenomenal talent, and I hope she does well in the future. But Candice LeRae has now aligned herself with Tiffany and Nia Jax because of that.
Right.
So 3 weeks ago at Crown Jewel, Nia and Tiffany were feuding with Raquel and Liv.
Right.
Even in the actual Crown Jewel match, Raquel and Tiffany were fighting.
Right.
There was they cost the match. Remember, Tiffany got hit with the briefcase.
Yeah.
At one point. So
Liv won.
Or I'm sorry. Yeah. So
don't leave that out.
They were just feuding 3 weeks ago, and now they're like, oh, we're a team now, for no purpose other than to like fast forward to a women's war game match. There was nothing here to build to this at all.
Nia's lines were,
I don't think about you.
Yeah.
I don't think about you. What I do think about is Bianca and Jade.
Yeah. Like, why are you thinking about them? Why are you worried about them? You're the champion. Why?
This whole segment was very rushed and I understand the need for women's wrestling on the cards, and I understand people's desire to have women's wrestling featured, but just having a women's war game match just for the sake of having a women's war game match is it does not hit the mark with me. I think this was very not good at all.
No, you don't think so? I don't think it's bad. I mean, it's kind of like forced, I guess, right? Because it's they're kind of just throwing it in there and they're making it out of nothing.
But look at the volume of like the intensity and the meaning behind the men's war game match in this whole bloodline feud. It's been boiling over this is a years in the making.
Yeah, we see it a lot with the Elimination Chamber matches. You know, they'll just throw random people in there, and then they started doing it with the women's. You know, if they got to do it for both, it is what it is. You know,
right? But do you think it takes away from the level that the men's one is, just to be throwing women's matches, women in the War Games match just to have it? And I'm not bashing anything. I think women should be featured on the card. I think there should be like a tag team title match at Survivor Series, or the women's titles being defended at Survivor Series. But to have all these women thrown into a War Games match just to have it, I think is just missing the mark for me.
I guess, I can understand where you're coming from. See, it's both, because they could put the women's title matches on Survivor Series, but then like they're not able to draw the story out longer to whatever they're trying to do with Royal Rumble, I guess, right? Because that would be next and Saturday night main event, if that turns out to be something that's game changing, who knows? But at least like it is randomly thrown together for the women's match, but at the same time it's not, because all these women do have like a history, and there is all like these stories going on with all of them. Then you got Tiffany Stratton in there too, which has the Money in the Bank. Like at any time, she could still cash that thing in. Like,
yeah, and you know, the women's championships, both Nia's and Liv's, haven't been defended, and we're going on 2 months now.
yeah,
There's 2 months that these titles have not been defended because the last PLE was Crown Jewel, and they didn't defend the titles. They were going for the Crown Jewel title,
and they faced each other. Yeah, they faced each other at Crown Jewel, and now they're on the same team.
So I think it's less of me not agreeing with this WarGames match and more wanting the women's titles to be featured more.
Right.
Because I think they're losing credibility and losing like they're just placeholders right now. Like their title reigns aren't really meaning much of anything. And so after that little kerfuffle with Nia Jax, I
liked Liv's little promo leading up to when we got Surprise coming out. I didn't mind it, but up until like the counting part. But you know, great minds think alike, because as I said in the past on the show, the math ain't mathing up, and she took the words right out of my mouth. You know,
not the only thing she takes out of her mouth.
Yeah. Well, hey, but yes, I'm sorry. So like the whole thing with her counting, how many times has that been done with people in the ring when they're counting? You know, it's like, but she's up to that point. She's doing great. Like she's been so much better at like playing to the audience and annoying them and annoying people like you on TV and being condescending and just being like that mean girl kind of. So I give her credit there, because I feel like it's become an effortlessly for her.
Gillis, bro.
I liked it. I like that part. That's what she wants. She's winning. She's winning. That's what she wants. That's what she wants. And then
we had Jade, Bianca, Naomi, and Iyo Sky, who helped them out at the end of Raw last week, come out. And we played math class, like you said.
Yeah. This is my brutality. WarGames.
This is another pet peeve of mine. When somebody comes out and just says the name of the event that they want to have a match, or like a type of match that they want, like no other thing. She just comes out and just says WarGames and then attacks them. Like, and so why is Iyo Sky, Jade, Bianca, and Naomi all deciding like, yeah, Rhea's our girl now? Like there's like I said, there's no context there.
Yeah.
Rhea like just terrorized Damage Control for how long, you know? And now all of a sudden Iyo Sky's on board with it. Like I wish there would have been a little bit, if this is the direction they're going, and that's fine. I just wish there was more seeds being laid to lead up to this than just to say, hey, we're having this 5-on-5 women's WarGames match.
Yeah, because we haven't seen that. But I mean, they're doing it, I guess, they're all teaming up, you know, both teams rather, for the greater good or greater bad. Yeah, right.
And WarGames, a match like WarGames is a tough match to have. Like,
right.
There's a lot of moving parts in a match like this, a multi-person cage match, 2 rings.
Yeah.
There's a lot of moving pieces there. And some of these women, are they going to be able to, not just the women, I'm just going to say some of these competitors, are they going to be able to flow with this? Nia Jax is sloppy in one-on-one matches. How is she going to fare in a 5-on-5 women's match? Like,
and it's a spot match. It definitely is.
That's what I'm getting at. That's what I didn't want to say the word. Yeah.
Not only is it just a spot match, there's random times where they come in too. They're not all in the ring at one time. So they got to be able to hold their own in the ring. So they're going to, you know, whoever comes out first and last, and obviously the heels should always have the advantage of the 2-on-1 to start it, right? I don't know if it's happened every time like that, but
most times the heel gets
you would think, you know, so we're going to have to see that. I think we see that next week. They had teased it, but who's going to win it? And like, what implications of either team winning does it have on the future?
Right.
Not really any, but you know, and then going back to like all of them in the match, like how's Jade going to do in the match? Are we going to see maybe some type of Jade and Bianca clashing in the match? You know, is there going to be some type of tease with Tiffany Stratton's Money in the Bank in the match?
A lot of people are thinking this is where it's going to be the cash in, but
Really? Okay. So,
We've been
and like, she could cash it in on Liv. She could cash it on Nia Jax. I mean, I don't know if I was going to predict who's going to win the match at the end of the day. I would say it would early at this point. I would say Rhea Ripley's team, and Rhea's going to pin Liv.
Yeah, at this point with what they're doing, first of all, going back to the Money in the Bank thing,
Yeah.
I've lost all interest in it because of how much they've teased it. I think they just overshot it. But at this point, I feel like nobody can take the title away from Liv except Rhea. It's got to be Rhea at this point.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
As much as they're investing in the whole thing, I think Rhea's got to be the one to dethrone Liv.
Right.
It wouldn't make sense any other way.
Yeah. I mean, Tiffany Stratton taking the pin and then her being the reason for losing the WarGames match could send Nia against her and really disrespect her and make her even more bitter and sour, and leading her, the audience even go over with her even more to cash in that on Nia Jax could be a avenue. But yeah, but and when Rhea came out with the face mask, they're talking about when she got hit in the face with a baseball bat in the NXT parking lot.
Yeah. Shout out Joe Tessitore.
Looking like Rip Hamilton out there.
Yeah. Looking like Undertaker.
Yeah,
Undertaker. The Phantom mask. Dashing Cody Rhodes back in the day.
Yes. Yep.
And the first thing she does with a broken orbital bone is headbutt Liv. Like, that really makes a lot of sense. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, like I said, I could be pleasantly surprised, but I just don't like there was no build. I'm not going to say I don't like the build because there was no build. It was.
I'm sure they're going to try over the next week or two or so now, because this next week we have Bianca versus Nia, I believe, for the advantage match of who's going to come out, who's going to get the second person to come out first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not too over the moon about it, but it is what it is.